Hey everyone, Chief Meteorologist Tom Miners on this February 22nd, this Friday afternoon, giving you a quick look at the forecast for the rest of this week. Really just talking about 2 days here, of course, the rest of today and tomorrow, but there's a lot that's going to happen in those 2 days. Just to give you an update, right now here at 12:50, the enhanced risk has been replaced in West Tennessee. Originally this morning it had been dropped to a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5, but now it's back to a 3 out of 5 for Saturday. Now, we also have a threat for severe weather even tonight. Just take a look at what the day one threat is. You can see it's a marginal risk in southwest Tennessee, possibly going to see some thunderstorms come through tonight that could produce some large hail in some spots. So we'll get to that in a moment. We do have a flash flood warning for parts of southwest Tennessee near the Tennessee-Mississippi state line and the Tennessee River. This computer model kind of gives you a simulation for where we're seeing some of the most full rivers and most full creeks in parts of West Tennessee. This is showing the southeast corner of Hardin County. Here's Savannah right here. And so you can see those areas near Walnut Grove really underwater after all the heavy rain we've had this morning, where a flash flood warning is in parts of Hardin, McNairy, and Hardeman County until 5:45 tonight. Now, just looking at what our weather is like right now and what that means for what is ahead. Last time we had weather like this, we did have some severe weather, but I've been looking at some of the four most like days that we had weather like the forecast is for Saturday, and you can see that all four of those didn't really show a lot of reports of severe weather. This one was probably the most active. This was actually back in 2008, February, but on February 17th. So I think that what is interesting about this is that none of those events, those four most common scenarios or days when we had a weather forecast like this one, none of them had the energy in the atmosphere that we have in the forecast for tomorrow. So while I think that those are nice to look at to help you maybe look forward to maybe not having severe weather tomorrow, problem is that we will have some energy in the atmosphere, it looks like. So this is a look based on climatology, based on history, and like days that are like the forecast for tomorrow, where we're most likely to have severe weather on Saturday. Again, this is pretty close to what the forecast risk is for severe weather, but not quite. It shows you that the bulk of it's going to happen over parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, and in Alabama. As far as the threat for a tornado, though, we're still in part of that 20% hatched area. You can see here, this contour shows, based on the climatology, based on history, where we've most often had tornadoes based on our forecast for tomorrow. So let's actually take a look at it, because I know what you really want to know is the timing of this, right? So here we go. This is a look at what the radar could look like as we're going from tonight into tomorrow. So here's our first round. We're still going to have rain in West Tennessee, but we could actually see showers become heavier this evening. This is a forecast for midnight tonight, and here's West Tennessee right here. You can actually see that rain starting to really gather up over parts of West Tennessee around midnight and afterwards. So flash flood threats will continue overnight. And then we actually see the weather dry out a bit. This is 6 a.m. in the morning. Again, West Tennessee not showing widespread activity as much anymore, but more scattered, and then things thin out. This is when we could see the atmosphere become a little bit more unstable. And even by noon, we're already seeing some strong to severe thunderstorms in parts of southeast Missouri and northeastern Arkansas. So it'll really be after noon tomorrow that we'll have to watch. If we get any of these isolated cells to develop, like Mo told you on the midday show on ABC and the noon show on CBS, we could see the chance for some rotation there. And ultimately, the main line, or the broken line of thunderstorms, finally starts to approach right after 3 o'clock. So we're going to start seeing our greatest threat for severe weather after 3 p.m. tomorrow. It's going to continue at 4, 5, and then 6 o'clock. You can see it's coming through a large part of our viewing area. So really the late afternoon and early evening seems to be when things are really getting going, and that's a look at 6 o'clock. So that is when our threat starts to kind of increase. Let me show you a different model, and this will show again over West Tennessee when the threat will end. Well, models, again, still show the same thing. A lot of heavy rain overnight, especially around midnight, and after that into early tomorrow morning, a break in the rain, and then we see some showers and thunderstorms come through. Now, again, if it's raining before the cold front arrives, it's possible that the energy won't be there. We won't get severe weather, but ultimately the threat for severe weather is going to be communicated by your storm team, because we want to make sure that you're prepared. Everything is gone by 9 p.m. according to this model, but certainly out of the area by midnight tomorrow night. So it really looks like the threat starts to deteriorate, especially by 9 o'clock, but after 9 o'clock until midnight is when things are going away. So we don't have an overnight threat for severe weather. So main concerns are going to be with flash flooding and with damaging winds, because it's not going to take a lot of strong winds to knock down trees since the ground is so wet. So the threshold for what would be considered a damaging wind, I think, is a little bit lower in our minds here for Saturday. Of course, now we could see some thunderstorms produce large hail both tonight and again tomorrow afternoon and evening. But then tornadoes, they're still on the table as well. That's going to be something I'll talk more about in your next look at the forecast coming up on WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.